Is there a most common way that money gets laundered currently?
It's still that shell company setup, man. It never goes away.
What's the Reader's Digest version of that?
So basically, I'm looking at taking money in, and you're looking at washing it for me, and we're setting up a shell company that has real business, whatever that looks like, whatever that real business is that can justify that amount of money. It might be the perfect example, if people watched, what the hell was that show? Ozark.
Yeah.
Right, where they bought the motel, and then they set up the casino, and they were refurbishing every room. And that's a common way of them still doing it. Now, if you could find TD Bank, you don't need to do that. Because TD Bank, there was dudes dumping duffel bag fulls of cash on these tellers' counters. Not a cash transaction report was filed, which doesn't allow for a suspicious activity report to be filed. And they're just putting all that cash in. Nobody's talking about where it came from, and they're spending that cash any way they want.
Do you know what?
Isn't that crazy?
Well, it is. I mean, it's hard to even believe, honestly, because, I mean, anything over 10K.
Got to be reported.
Yeah, there's red flags to the IRS and everything.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what was TD Bank from the higher up kind of just the, hey, from the top, like, don't fucking say anything.
Had to be.
We just want the money coming in on our balance sheet. And
had to be.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten to the bottom of it. I mean, I know they paid their fine without missing a beat. The $3.3 billion, they just knocked it out. But no one's going to jail. Nobody's under investigation. So the bank is going to get punished. But what about people? Why is there no investigation going on? Why is there no established training plan in that bank? Every other bank has a fraud and money laundering division that works on that constantly. TD Bank doesn't have that. It's a Canadian-based bank. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
do you think that there's a chance that that there's politicians or judges involved that are preventing it from being investigated further?
It's, Mike, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Wow. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I'm not saying it happens, but nothing surprises me after what I've seen.
Yeah. On that money laundering thing, I know Ozarks is a good example, but just because I still have a hard time imagining how it works, I guess, or how they can pull it off. Is it because they're using cash and writing like receipts that are bigger than what they're actually?
And you're just looking to clean the money, right? So you're not looking to make money on it. You're just looking to clean it so that I can spend it. So if bank robbery, perfect example, you get 35, 40,000, people don't know, the robber doesn't know if it's marked. He doesn't know what's going to happen. So they've got to get that money in the system somehow. The big thing used to be casinos, because that made the most sense. I go down, I play for a little bit, I get a marker, I get my chips, I play for a little bit, I give that cash, they take the cash, put it in. Now I'm done, and I go cash my chips in. Or I hold on to my chips for a month or 2 months, and then I go cash them in. That used to be a big way of doing it, and Atlantic City and Vegas could definitely support that. Yeah. And now you get casinos all over the place. That used to be a big thing. But again, it's not, think about it more like I just don't want this money. I want this money to not, just to be clean. I don't need to profit from it. I already have. How do I get it into the system? Any system. The banking system is obviously that would be the most desirable place to get it, which is why TD is impossible. But if I can set up these other businesses that are facilitating my lifestyle, right? I can still share on the profit and loss statement of that business. So if I take $100,000, pump it into a motel room, and that motel room does $135,000 next year, just that room, I did well. Yeah. I haven't had to earn $1 of that other money.
So an example would be, let's say you take $100,000 and refurbish a Airbnb or a hotel or whatever, and you're actually paying the contractor in that cash, and then that's how you're saying, okay, well,
he's writing your receipt.
Yeah,
here's an invoice, here's a receipt, boom, done.
But wouldn't the IRS say, well, where the fuck did that $100,000 come from?
If that threshold is in place, right? If they're not thinking, it's like anything else with fraud. When you jump over the top a little bit is when you get that attention. And I hate to say this, but that's just the way of the world.
What is the top?
It depends on the industry.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends. Like if you're a doc who's billing for services not rendered, and you stay under $100,000 a month, You don't get to be a whore and try to do more. Most likely, you're going to get away with that for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the Bureau and the IRS are going to look at that and say, the threshold on that, we don't look at that. None of that gets flagged. Even in the old days of options trading on Wall Street, before SEC put those computerized pieces in place where they didn't matter how much the money was. But if you were just staying under the radar, 100 grand of trades and, sharing options with your brother and hey, you should buy more.
Yeah.
But now that's getting computerized. I think the solution is exactly that, right? So a dental or a doctor's office or a lawyer's office should have something in place where they have to report through a system of, especially on the insurance side, you can never stop the cash payments. I come in, who the hell pays for the dentist cash anymore? Nobody. Pay for a credit card. But if you have something in place where that POS system needs to report back, it's going to catch that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so as a hypothetical for today's day and age of being in that situation, let's say you have $500,000 in bank robbery money or drug money or whatever, and you buy a house as a rental property or let's say an Airbnb, and then you spend $500,000 in just completely redoing the whole thing and whatever. Like, wouldn't the IRS be like, where the fuck did that $500,000? Like, if you're claiming it as deductions because I spent all this money,
they should.
You don't have any W-2 or any. Like, I mean, especially with AI and algorithms, like, I don't know how.
It's a simple question too. It's a simple, investigative question. Or there should be, I think that's probably on the way.
Yeah.
Where they can just take a look at that and say, hey, what's going down? How are we? It's the source and application piece. If you're spending more than you're making with no debt, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And you haven't gotten a handout. You haven't sold a business yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's just, kind of the same approach as the, drugs coming across the border. There's so much of it, they can only catch so much.
You can only catch so much and only do so much. And, Quantico, the first day, they go up to the blackboard and follow the money.
Yeah.
And every type of crime, because it's all about it. Doesn't matter. The only people that don't, even that has it, but the lone wolf, school shooter, that's probably the only guy that doesn't matter about the money, but you will find something there too.
Yeah.
If you follow the money, dig in, you're going to get it.
Yeah. So, since you brought that up, why don't we know more about the Pennsylvania assassination attempt?
Isn't that crazy?
Like, I mean, that was the FBI is investigating it, right? Do you know anybody that has anything to do with that?
I know they're on it. Yeah.
I mean, have you asked them what?
Yeah, they're just telling me, DiOrio, not today, kind of thing.
Really?
But yeah, we're not going to tell you today, but eventually we'll figure it out. But I go back to the entire process.